Hello everybody, welcome back. I think I like this hand a lot. We've got our two colors. We've got our untapped dual land on turn 1. Because we have the mountain, we can play an explosive apparatus. Turn 2, we'll actually have double red for a Scourge Wolf. And already be a quarter of the way to unlocking Delirium. We got the Crow, which can further aid us in that endeavor. And then for later, a Pyre Hound into a Reduce the Ashes on turn 5. We can just roll off a few lands off the top. Seems like close to the perfect hand, actually. Or within reason, at least. Actually, the curve from 1 to 5 laid out before us. I suppose a better hand would involve a turn 4 Mind Rack Demon with like a Crow to absorb a Clip Wings or something, and enabling Delirium would be the ideal hand. Also, a Fiery Temper or 2 in there, I'm sure, would be good. But I'm more than happy to keep this hand. We'll see if our Scourge Wolf can hold the line for a bit if we get stuck on just the 2 lands. So yeah, I think just honestly drawing 3 lands off the top would not irk me in the least, as we already have the creatures. So he's keeping on 7. That's good. We'll have a good clean game here, hopefully. Maybe an Insolent Neonate on turn 1. Ooh, the Village Messenger. Okay. So fortunate. Alright, this is actually very lucky for us. Even better with a dual shot. So this is really scary on turn 1 if you have nothing to play, because it will transform into a 2/2 with Menace. That can be quite difficult to deal with. But fortunately, we have the Forbidding Ruins, revealing a mountain, and we'll play an Explosive Apparatus to keep this from transforming. And hope that he plays like a Neonate or something that we can get dual shot value off of. So if he doesn't play anything... Okay, he does play the Neonate. I was going to say, if he didn't do anything and just wanted this to transform, would it be worth our upkeep dual-shotting the Messenger? I don't think so. I think I'm just going to play the Wolf out here, blocks everything he has, and we'll use the dual shot on something hopefully stronger than the Neonate, but we'll see. If he does absolutely nothing this turn, I'd be very happy to dual shot him. So why is he blocking me? He can't flash in first strike and +1/+1 or anything like that. He did not want to lose his Messenger. I think I might just call his bluff here. I think he would have attacked both if he had like a Uncaged Fury or something, and even that wouldn't end up that profitable for him. Ooh, of course, it has Menace. That would explain things. I should read the card more carefully. It has a lot of text. Alright, Wicker Witch. I'm very happy about that. And a Landscape, for good measure. So, we could play the Crow. We could also blast both of these 1 toughness creatures out of the water. I would really rather have the Pyre Hound before dual shotting, but that's such a minor grievance. We also have an Explosive Apparatus to deal with some more things. If I play the Crow, he can attack with anything, and I likely wouldn't want to block any of them. That's difficult. Oof. I wish I had one more land out. I knew that I would draw 1 more land for the next turn, so I could have like Explosive Apparatus and dual shot in case something gets out of control. I could also just leave this on defense once more. I think I'm actually just gonna play a bit more defensive here. I'm not sure if this is the right call. I'm gonna play the Crow and just see what happens here. So that's unfortunate. I milled out my planes. Also my 6 drop. I'm not unhappy to lose my 6 drop. I wasn't going to cast it anytime soon anyway. But losing my planes means that I can no longer use Warped Landscape to find one. I'm solely on the Forsaken Sanctuary, whatever it is. The black-white dual land comes into play tapped. If I happen to draw the Militia Captain, I will likely end up discarding it to something rather than cast it. So let's see what he has here. Besides a Sanguinary Mage. Just a bunch of low drops so far. Chooses not to attack. And we draw a mountain. Alright, so we actually have either the Pyre Hound or the Apparatus, plus a dual shot, if we deemed it necessary. I think I'm just going to play the Pyre Hound out, though. I'll attack with Crow, leaving back my Scourge Wolf. It's doing a fantastic job of keeping his entire team at bay. And play the Pyre Hound. 2/3, can block some things, and it's going to grow pretty quickly, actually, if we have a dual shot, and then after that, a reduce to ashes. We can grow this thing up to a 4/5 trampler before long. And then finally, Gatstaff Arsonists, if he deals with our threats. So once again, it seems like our opponent is stuck on land. So if he has at least 3, if not 4 spells in hand, unless he's holding on to redundant lands to discard to the Neonate. I think that's doubtful, but certainly possible. I'm going to operate under the assumption he has 4 spells in hand right now. Some number of them that are uncastable, I would think. Probably a green card or 2 or something that costs a bit much. He's going to put a Skin Invasion on my my Trampling Pyrehound. That might not work out for him very well. The following turn is I have a dual shot and an explosive apparatus to deal instant speed damage and whatnot. So this is going to be interesting to see if he's got a trick to combat this. And there's another land. Could reduce the ashes, growing this to a 3/4. Alternatively, we can attack with both of these, Crow and Pyrehound. If he blocks with any of these 3 creatures, I can dual shot them down. That grows me to a 3/4 and removes likely the Wicker Witch from play. And we also have an explosive apparatus, which, if used in combination, can kill the Sanguinary Mage with like a prowess trick on the stack or something. So certainly attacking with the Pyrehound and the Wolf. The Crow. I might actually attack with the Wolf as well, because I have an instant in dual shot, and I can sacrifice the explosive apparatus since I expect to anyway. So I can actually trigger Delirium. I think I'm going to go with this, and let's see how he blocks before we decide how best to utilize our instant speed damage. So my guess is the Wicker Witch is coming in front of the Pyrehound, possibly the Mage in front of the Wolf. Alright, this could be really good for us. I almost just want to use the apparatus, even if I don't have to get an extra 2 damage on the Wolf, but I don't think that's necessary. So, doesn't matter how I block. Before damage, I will go ahead and use Dual Shot on the Wicker Witch, and I think Messenger. I will, in fact, be shooting the Messenger here. And then that way I grow to a 3/4. I easily killed the Mage. If he has anything more to grow it, I have an explosive apparatus as well. And he'll be left with just a Neonate at the end of the day. So that sounds pretty good. Put a counter on our guy. He's got to have something really strong here to get out of this. Alright, so I shot the Messenger and killed the Wicker Witch. And I'm about to trample over his vampire. And he goes to 14. Okay. And then next turn, I could just use the apparatus to blast something, whatever he plays. If nothing else, I can always use the Warp Landscape or something, just to get more colored sources in play. The next turn, we've got Reduce to Ashes, or just play the Arsonists. And we should have Delirium online for the Wolf, and this guy will be a 3/4 or even a 4/5 Trampler. So if he plays like a 4-drop here, I think we're basically just done, because I'll use the apparatus to probably kill the Neonate, and then whatever he has, I'll reduce to ashes. Can't think of anything in red-green for 4 mana that survives a 5 damage burn spell. So he leaves back his guy. He could have an aim high or something like that. Excuse me. I think I'll hold on to the apparatus for now. I'll go ahead and sack the landscape just to thin my deck out. I don't want to draw more lands, so I'll take one out of my deck right now. Doesn't really matter which one I take. I guess I'll just take a mountain. Don't think it matters. There's our black-white tap land. So if I attack with both, he can put this in front of something, but if he has like a pump spell or a Spiteful Motives, I can just apparatus it in response. As it is, I think he's in big trouble. So I'm going to go ahead and play this at Arsonists if he does nothing. And if he does something, we've got the apparatus or Reduce to Ashes. He doesn't have double green. I should have noted also that that Pack Spirit thing, the 4 mana 4/3 Wolf Spirit with Flash, You can discard a land. Ooh. Oh, okay. That makes more sense. So he's triggering Madness for the Malevolent Whispers. And let's see what he takes. He does not have Delirium, thankfully. All creatures in the graveyard. So he can't take my wolf, give it Delirium, and block my Pyrehound to kill them both. That would be devastating. So he's going to take my wolf, and okay. Kill it with the Pyrehound. Alternatively, and he'll still take a little bit of damage. 1 point, I guess. And then I'll play Arsonist. So I think I'm... Oh, it gives it +2/+. Oh, of course. Should have read that also more carefully. So he wants to block the Pyrehound and kill it. So the question is, do I want the Pyrehound or the wolf more? Because he can kill the hound, but the wolf will survive. Alternatively, I can use the apparatus to kill the wolf, saving my guy, hitting him for 5, but that taps me out. I think I'm just going to let him kill my Pyrehound, even with the skin invasion. Ah, that's true. Also, he gets this. Skin invasion, he gets a 2/3 with trample and potentially will grow. Yeah, okay, that's a pretty good play actually, but I'm gonna go ahead and get it out of here with the apparatus, and then I'll just play the Sanctuary post combat. That was a nice little setup he had there. He could have killed my guy and mind controlled another one. So I'm gonna go ahead and just play the Sanctuary here. Pass. Anything he plays, once again, I can reduce it to ashes and hit him for 6 damage. He'll go to 3, and we have like Fiery Tempers in our deck, which are just lethal at that point. So I feel like we're in great shape here. Gloom Widow can't actually block the 3/4, just the Crow. Can only block flyers. And speaking of which, we have a flyer. Could just attack him and then play Arsonists or something. I think I like that. I'll go ahead and attack with this guy. Cannot block it. And then I'll play out the Arsonists. And that forces him to play out whatever cards he wants to play. He can't hold up a trick of some kind, because then the Arsonists will transform. He can't just kill us out of nowhere, I feel. And again, the Gloom Widow can't even block anything but the Crow, so he's got to play out multiple things. So I think his Veteran Cathar is just a 2/2 with no upside, really. Ooh, the Twins and the Markov Dread Knight working rather well together. I think I just killed this Cathar, though. That makes it very difficult for him to survive. And I can't think of anything to represent, so I'll just go ahead and do this here. Get some beats in. See if he has, like, double pump somehow. Don't think he does, though. He does not. So I think that should clean it up here. There's no fog in the set, to my knowledge. Fog effect, so... What does he have? An Inner Struggle. Deals damage to itself. Okay. That will definitely take that down, but once again, he's in a bit of a sticky situation here. 2 life, and I have 2 3-damage burn spells in my deck. He scoops. We are victorious. Alright, so next turn we would have drawn a swamp, and probably played out the Dread Knight, and not had enough mana, unfortunately, for the discarding, but I would have wanted to do that anyway, as I would want to have 6 mana to discard the Twins and Madness them out at instant speed. But yeah, our opponent, a little unlucky there. Also, us keeping the dual shot in ended up working wonders with the blowout on the Wicker Witch and the Messenger. So stay tuned for match 2. Hopefully we have more of the same.